Hi guys, and welcome to another random platypus review. This time I'm going to be doing something spooky. Having been into our local pound shop, I have found, believe it or not, for £1, a pack of creepy critters. Now, it says there's 52 in there. I'm not going to bother to count them because it's, you know, not expensive. But what you get, these little kind of areas of mice, not mice, what am I saying? Ants and spiders. Now, the spiders are the same sort of size, apart from these big beastly ones, which I'm less attracted to, if I'm honest. I mainly got it for the little ones, and I'm going to crack this open because there's going to be no other way of showing you how big they are. Otherwise, I'm going to just grab a couple of nearby figures as usual, just so you can see what size they are. Let's get our little line-up going. Right, we've got our nice little selection of your Joe Average fantasy figures there. Games Workshop, an old spyglass miniature, and your hassle-free and your mantic. Okay, so the first issue you're going to come across, open it properly so you don't lose them all over the floor, is that you have to turn it upside down to make sure they don't all ping out, which I have done. Right, so I shall get some of the ants out first. They are of the kind of typically cheap and slightly soft plastic, but that does not bother me because these are going to be swarm bases. As you can see, they are relatively big, so they're great for a swarm of like semi-giant ants or that sort of thing anyway. So they're the ants. These are the spiders. Hopefully you can see these alright. I shall zoom in a minute just so you can see a bit better. Which almost look like they're trying to fly because their legs are all splayed a bit, kind of. Oh, he's on his back. That's not going to do any good. And obviously these are I mean, you could use them. There's absolutely nothing wrong with using these, and that's the giant spider. So that's what they look like in terms of. There are 3 different things that come in the set. Again, I'm not really fussed about the big one. So I'm just going to zoom this baby in a little bit so you can actually see. So if I put one of the ants, say I put him on the base of this guy, because most people know what an Empire figure looks like. Look at that. Ah, it's a big nut. It's about the size of a small family cat. So yeah, they're good for, and the same with these. You know, big enough. Obviously the big spidery thing, which looks a bit daft, which would be fine if you're only just using it for like a beastie for a dungeon crawl and it's going to be on for 3 seconds before you put your sword through it. It's probably fine. Obviously with a bit of a new paint job, because clearly the eyes on this thing, come on, you want to zoom in, you want to zoom in, you know you want to zoom in, no you don't want to zoom in. Okay, so yeah, anyway, if I can get it at a distance, you can see the eyes are a bit crappy on it. There's red over on place. I reckon they'll take paint nice. They're kind of more rubbery than plasticky, but again, for the price. So what my plan is, and if I find a base, I shall show you. It's a bit chewed up, but let's just use it. That's your standard GW 40mm base, I believe. Yes, it's a 40mm base. So one of the little areas will probably take one of the things of ants. So what you should be able to make, I mean, you could probably push it a little bit if you wanted to, or stick them on a 30mm. I probably have a 30mm around here as well that I could use. Yeah, let's give you a bit of variety. I'll use the grey one so you can see it better. Right, so that's the ants. That's one area of the ants on that. So that's, you get 3 of those. You get 3 little areas of ants. So you could have a little swarm base of ants that big. Or if you wanted to go for smaller swarm bases of ants, you could probably fit, I mean, there's 2 on this one, but I reckon you could squeeze 3 if you wanted to, if it was really swarmy. And maybe another 2. You obviously make more if you put them on a slightly smaller base. I mean, that is, again, is an option. Some people prefer the bigger bases, some prefer the small. Who cares? It's up to you. They're cheap. Who cares, right? So Obviously the spiders need a little bit more space, but again, you could probably comfortably get 3 or 4 on there, or on the, yeah, they're going to struggle. I think you'd probably be better off doing them individually on 20mm bases if that's the way you're going to go, because they're going to struggle a little bit to look cool as a twosome on a slightly smaller base, shall we say. But yeah, otherwise I think they look fine. I'm going to probably order some MDF bases for these guys and stick them down to make them nice and cheap. Again, this guy is probably best off on a 30mm and squidging his legs up a little bit on there, because I don't think he really warrants a bigger one than that. But personally, I'm probably going to put him on a bit of string and shock my wife with it. That's about all the value I'm going to get out of it, I think. The others, like I say, are perfectly fine and serviceable as swarmy creatures. If this thing ever wants to focus, yes, go on, focus. Ah, nearly. Perfectly serviceable otherwise, you know. If I get you might even want to put like a figure on the base that's struggling or dying and swarming them over it. But like I say, the pack is £1 and you'll get three pack sort of like mini blisters of the ants and 3 of the smaller spiders. Hey, look at that! Ah, being swarmed. And 3 of the spiders. So basically 6 swarm bases plus your bonus ugly spiders. Anyway, I thought I'd show them to you because you're not going to get much chance to buy them this, because they're only around this sort of time of year. And for £1, why wouldn't you? Right, let me know what you think. Are you going to buy some? Have you already got some? Let us know and show us your pics and what you're doing with them on Random Platypus. See you guys there. Bye bye now.